welcome back to Tech Yes City. This is Brian coming to you guys today with a review of the EpicGear Defiant mechanical keyboard. Now this has interesting switches which were designed in-house from EpicGear themselves. And for those of you who don't know who EpicGear are, they're actually an extension from the company called Gear, which is very popular for making certain types of memory on the PC platform, especially for enthusiast tech heads like myself. So getting straight into the build quality and features of this keyboard, you can get it in 3 different variants, which you can get the purple switch, which is essentially like a Cherry MX Blue, in that it's got 2 levels of feedback. The next option they have is the orange switch, which essentially works like a Cherry MX Brown with 1 layer of feedback. And then the last switch you've got there is the gray, which acts like a red, in that it's just a linear switch with no feedback at all. And on that note of switches, they come with a rating of 70 million strokes, and they've also got the white LED backlighting on this model called the Defiant. Though you can get their little crystals that allow you to change the colors to 5 different colors. That's 2 different layers of pink, 2 different layers of green or green and teal, and also yellow. Though I did find the crystals a little bit cumbersome when it came to switching those colors around. I actually had to pull out the whole switch just to change that little crystal in there, which I'd like to see it come out from the front. And even on that note, I would have liked to have seen RGB lighting implemented on this keyboard. Though one thing that sets the Defiant apart from other keyboards is that they can use a modular matrix structure type key switch, as they call it, where you can completely remove the key from the keyboard and then change it with a different color. So for instance, I'm using purples on my main key here, and then if I want to play CSGO, for example, I can then switch it to the grays and have no linear on those keys that I use for that game. And it makes it so I'm able to customize my keyboard for different games. If I'm playing a lot of Dota 2, for example, and I really like those orange sort of brown type 1 layer of feedback switches, I can then switch it to that color and then I'm good to go. Though another thing that I really liked about this keyboard was those elevated switches, and they're very simple and they're very easy to type on. So I'll let you guys listen to what it sounds like to type on this keyboard. Now besides those switches, the best thing that I like about this keyboard is simply the build quality. It is phenomenal, and it's up there in the likes of Corsair, who make really strong keyboards as well. When I picked this thing up out of the box, it weighed in at about 1 kilo, so it wasn't too heavy, though that steel backplating, which comes in a satin black, really set this keyboard apart from the others. Moving on to the LED lighting, it comes with the default white LED lighting setting. That just happens to go with my black and white theme in the background here. Though you can't get it in other LED colors, you can get those crystals as I mentioned before. Looking at the top right of the keyboard, EpicGear have gone with that simplistic styling on not only the whole keyboard, but the numlock, caps lock, and scroll lock keys themselves, just having a simple red lighting. And to the right of that, you've got the volume knob, which is made of steel, and if you press it down, you can mute the keyboard as well. Looking at the top of the keyboard, you've got this EpicGear logo and some kind of squishy, plasticky, foamy type stuff. It actually feels really cool. And then from there, you've got the 1.8 meter braided cable, which extends out to a gold-plated USB tip. Looking at the wrist rest, which is actually not included with the keyboard, though it is an optional accessory, which comes in around $10, I think. That has the EpicGear logo, and it's again that squishy, plasticky, soft type feel. It does feel really good, though. If I had to critique one thing about it, I would like to have seen it extended out more, as I like big fat wrist rests when I'm typing. Now taking a look at the software, this is actually another impressive feature of the Defiant. It's got a simple layout with the software, easy to download. You can also update the firmware on this keyboard, which is another cool feature. And it's got 3 tabs there, the support, the macros, and also the key management tabs. You've also got the option of choosing between 4 different profiles and polling rates, which go from 125 to 250 to 500 to 1000. Now making a macro was also very easy on this keyboard, and you can actually insert the delays to save a lot of time when you're editing the macro, and then you can assign it to any single key on the keyboard, which is another awesome feature of the Defiant. Another thing you can do with this keyboard is change the brightness with 3 different settings of brightness there, low, medium, and high, and also off. So I guess that's 4 settings in total. You can also change this from the software, and included in the software is the ability for the AFK mode to set this keyboard in a ripple effect. So now we've got through the gist of this keyboard. It costs 90 USD, and that's what I saw it for on Amazon. And honestly, at this price, it is a killer keyboard. Just simply the build quality and the feature set that you can do with this keyboard makes it stand out from other keyboards. I simply put it on my desk and I fell in love with it instantly. That satin black steel backplating really sets this keyboard apart. It's just simple, it works really well, and then you've got the option to change the keys there, which I thought was really cool. Even though that's an optional accessory, and I saw that up there for $15, it's actually very reasonably priced to get different switches on your keyboard. Some other accessories that you can get with this keyboard include the side mountings there to elevate the keyboard even higher than that elevation on the back of the keyboard. Though as I said before, I don't see myself needing these as I love a flat keyboard on the desk as low as possible. Another accessory you can get is the colored light bars, which you can change the colors of the keys if you remove the clear cap, and then you can put in the colors that you like. There's 5 different colors. Those, again, as I said before, I would have loved to have seen this keyboard in RGB, which would have eliminated the need for that accessory altogether. And then the last accessory I'm going to talk about is the carry pouch, which you probably saw in the intro. This thing is just built really well. I really love it. It's a cool accessory, especially if you're going to LAN parties a lot or you want to carry your keyboard around with you. Really loved it. Really well made. And then the last thing that I really liked about this keyboard was the ability to change the switches to the other different colors. So if you're playing CSGO, Dota 2, whatever those games you're playing and you want to change up the feel of your keyboard, you can do it, and you can do it for actually really cheap. So that's a really cool feature that I loved about this keyboard as well. So in conclusion, at $90 USD, the Defiant keyboard is an absolute hit out of the park. I absolutely fell in love with the build quality of this keyboard. So the first things first here, that build quality, phenomenal. $90 keyboard, I was like, wow, this thing's coming in at $90, steel backplate, absolute simple and rugged finish there. You're gonna love it if you want a keyboard that's going to last the distance. Anyway, that's about it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed this review, then please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about the Defiant from EpicGear, then be sure to drop a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll also put some links in the description where you can check it out if you want to buy it. Lastly, I will say that the EpicGear title there is not just a name. They are making some real epic gear. So way to make a bang in the peripheral market, EpicGear. Looking forward to seeing what else they're going to do in the market, and I hope to see you guys in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye. EpicGear, and what a way to enter the enthusiast tech market for peripheral. I guess people never test out wrist rests to see how well of a slapping power they've got. That's got some bite in it. I'd say this one wins in the slapping power department.